welcome to a brand new section of Talks with Dorks. As some of you may know, we are putting on a wrestling event on May 31st at the Basildon Sport and Leisure Club called Talks with Dorks Presents Never Say Die. And we've decided to build the show, we need to get everybody involved to come on the show. And the first people we wanted to bring on was the people that will be in charge of two of the most important parts of the show, the main events. UK TikTok wrestling content creator legends themselves. I'm bigging you up here, boys. We got j.e.wrestletok and Stone Cold Stalley. Boys, welcome to Talks with Dorks, finally.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having us on here.
So, this has been talked about for a while, before the whole GM part of this was even a thing. But yes, you are now fully involved in Talks with Dorks Presents Never Say Die, and I think the way you guys found out on your lives was quite good, that you're going to be our GMs for Talks with Dorks Wrestling, however it may go forward. Let's talk about, to you guys as wrestling fans, being in part of a wrestling company, is that cool? Is there something you'd love to be part of? Are you thinking, oh God, have we really got to do this?
Well, for me, I'm proper excited about being part of it. Because I feel like I'm at the age now where if I was ever going to be a wrestler, that ship sailed. And as a kid, you never really take the whole general manager seriously. You see Teddy Long, you're going to be in a match and you're going to go one-on-one with The Undertaker. And you're like, Teddy, why are you making that match again? But I feel like us two together, we can put together some pretty good matches.
Absolutely. And I feel like we're quite the tag team. Not physically, but now we've got to put our GM caps on. We both have caps on, so we're half the way there. We just need to get ourselves in roll. But I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, we've done events together before. We bounced off each other pretty well. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting to see how this pans out. Looking forward to it.
That's kind of this whole idea stemmed from when we had AJ Slambino on the podcast, and he was talking about his need and want to wrestle in the UK, because he's got this massive TikTok following, and majority of it is the UK because of what he did. He was eating British food, so he's like, I'd love to wrestle there. So because we then decided, I could pass their details on to people I know in the business, it was kind of like, well, I still wouldn't mind having something to do with the business, as much as I don't think I can wrestle anymore. Maybe the podcast team might think it's a cool idea to have their own wrestling company, as they're all fans, and then everyone we get involved, they're all fans. So it becomes our own thing, our own company, our own fun way of doing things. And social media being what it is, I think there's an untapped market for content creators like yourself that love the wrestling business, that will put passion into it. That's something new.
I completely agree. Yeah, I really do. And like you say, it's by the fans, for the fans. So there might be some sort of booking there that might be a bit outside the box maybe, but I think fans are still going to love that nonetheless. Maybe more so.
Yeah, and the good thing is, this is the good thing about utilising social media. You both have followings. Have people that I've seen it. I've been, I don't have a clue about Discord, but I've seen the messages. I try and look. I go in there and there's there's 500 messages in 10 minutes. I'm like, nope. No wonder
Stay
you can't
away.
keep up with WhatsApp, Stalley. With that,
It's a full-time job in itself, I tell you that much.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally. So these people are passionate for what you do, and that's why I was like, have you guys be a part of it. You're passionate for the industry. Like you say, it's these people know who you are already, so we're not having to start from the bottom. Not everybody at the show will probably know who you are, but there'll be enough people to let them know who you are, that you're someone they should get behind if they need to. The story's already sold in what you do online.
I'm fully expecting to come out of the show and someone to be like, who's this joker? And not, because like you say, not everyone, but some people might hate us, and that's absolutely fine. You don't have to like us, but we're here doing our thing, and if you want to support it, please do.
Or to be fair, on the flip side, Jay, we might be if we both go to Moss Bros beforehand and pick up our suits, people might not even recognise us. So people that do know us beforehand on the night, will still might be like, who are these idiots?
I am also thinking, along with the Moss Bros suits, we do need maybe some snapbacks that say GM on them.
Fair point.
Right.
I like that.
Listen. I'm here to book you and put you on the show as the GMs, right? Your gimmick, your look, that's all your thing. I just listen. It's to you. Like, do you want to have your full gear? Do you want whatever you decide? I'm all for, because I know you'll do it, and it'll be yourselves. Technically, think of it as, you may not actually be wrestling, but you're part of the wrestling world as a part of a federation.
Absolutely. The way I see it is Fred Durst has just become a wrestling general manager. I just need to find that, like Jay said, a red cap with the GM on it. Fine, I can be Fred Durst for the night. It's okay.
It's doable.
I know people that actually do hats and that. I'll have a chat. Jay, who's your character? Who are you gonna go from? Is it going to be Seth?
Well, no, I think I'm an unapologetic. Can't even get my words out. Unapologetically come as myself. That's what the people that do support like. That's what they want. So yeah, I'll come as j.e.
The expression, right? Wrestler, and this is what I always, no matter what job, DJing, etc., I always use this, is that your character is you with the volume up. That's the best character you can be. Doesn't mean you are actually the arsehole that some heels are, etc., but it's you. It's got to be you deep down to be that character. So you guys will find that and put it across the show. And listen, if one of you decides maybe I'm a heel down the line, this could lead to some fun times on the wrestling company if it goes further down the line. Who's going to turn on who?
People love to come into our lives, don't they, Jay, and say to us, "Oh, you're such a heel." We do something that maybe people don't disagree with. They go, "Heel J.E., heel Stalley." Well, for the time being, we're going to prove that we are quite the faces. We are going to be, a great pairing. Looking forward to booking the show. We're going to be fair. We're going to be equal. All that stuff. We're going to give people the matches they want to see.
All I'm saying is never say never, though, because I'm a Rollins guy, and he does like a chair shot from behind.
Don't you dare go turning on me already. We're only 10 minutes into this conversation, or less than 10 minutes, and you're already looking to turn on me. Like,
a guy's got to do what a guy's got to do. We're a tag team, and we'll remain a tag team. But,
Alexa, cue my way.
You might turn on me, please. You might turn on me. Who knows? Listen, we're giving the people what they want. They want us to fight.
More fights.
So I always turn to my sacrifice. That's just like that's my go-to.
That's a bad.
Because that is just because I remember them videos, them powerful videos. So, but I feel, Stalley, if we're going to do you a promo video, it will be to my way. Don't worry.
Absolutely.
Don't worry.
Thank you.
Are we confirming that's your entrance music as well? Is it?
No, I've already been thinking about this. It's a very important choice and a decision that you have to make. But I've got it. I'm not going to tell you guys what it is.
Yeah,
but I've
good.
got it.
Good.
I feel like
it's not Limp Bizkit either. People expect it to be, but it's not. I can confirm. Expect the unexpected. We're wrestling fans. That's the way it goes in this industry.
I will just say, I'm not actually going to turn on you unless you come out with your theme song and it is Joe Hendry. Then it's off.
Looks like you're turning on me.
See, this is what I like. So you can already see we're not even there yet, but I know, this is what a promoter does. He puts that little seed in there, and eventual storylines. This is what wrestling is. Storylines will become storylines, and one of them, maybe the one you don't even expect, will turn. Listen, who thought John Cena was actually ever going to do it? He did it.
Fair point.
It would take, it would take something big for us to turn, though. It would.
Yeah.
It really, really would.
Yeah. Like you going, one of you has got to turn. we need this to happen. Obviously, kind of discussed it. So this will be the first event, and hopefully, touch wood, this event is, tickets are going okay. They're going well. If people enjoy it as much as I believe we can put some magic together, this will go down the line. But the task I've set you, or we as the Talks podcast have set you for this show, is that you will be in charge of putting on the two main events. So the second half of the show. Obviously, one of them will involve the Pond Bros, AJ Slambino and Goonie Dad, Paul Johnson Naylor. The other match, not a clue at the moment. That has not been decided, but it will be a big match. So that is the task I put to you. Okay. The pressure is on to put on a good show. So basically, it's basically me saying that if you mess up, I've got someone to blame.
I think we need to after the podcast, Stalley, me and you need to get together and see what we can do about these main events. See if we can come up with something big.
Yeah, absolutely. We can do that. I think it's best to do it now rather than another time, Jay, because you'll struggle to get hold of me. So let's do that straight after this, because
straight after.
Otherwise you might have to wait a whole business year for a response.
We'll leave the chat the call open.
We'll make the main event for Wrestling in Basildon 2035.
I love it. But you never know. Like, if things go well, wouldn't restrict it just to Basildon. I mean, there are actual still things about territories in wrestling. I mean, I have to do some research, but if it goes well, you never know. Coming to a town near you, if you know a venue.
Do you have any place in mind already, or is that
the whole country? If I can, I want to become. I want us to be. I want us to be the Vince. I want us to be the original WWF. I don't want to like upset people in the wrestling industry, because some of them are quite tasty and bigger than me. They're bigger boys.
I was going to say you're mentioning that territory still exists, but are you prepared to full Vince it and go in and just tear them apart and rip them down and just run through them? Is that something that?
I'm not prepared to say that on a podcast, J.E.
Very true. Very
Sounds
true.
incriminating.
You've given me all I need to know.
Yeah, even Vince McMahon had to play it to the chest quite closely. You know what I mean? Oh, be careful. Plus, like, you never know who's actually going to really see this, because there's going to be a lot of wrestling hashtags, and it will take one promoter to go, "Oh, really?"
Yeah. Wow. You're coming here,
We'll send the big boys in. Yeah, we'll send some of the big boys down. And have you seen some of these wrestlers? They're quite big.
Yeah.
You never know who come knocking at my door. But I'm not here to upset anybody. I'm just here to make it something special. We know about the show. We know what's going. It's May 31st. You know, obviously, I've got some great ideas for you guys. We've got this. We've got some great wrestlers on the show. We've got, you look at it on this sense, whether you know about British wrestling or not. Like I said, we've got the Pond Bros. That is the selling point of it, because they are massive on TikTok, not for their wrestling, but they're selling it. They are going to be making their first debut match as a tag team. Paul will be making his debut match ever, and AJ will be making his debut in the UK. Now, if you look into AJ's background, I don't know how well you know of his wrestling, but that's a man that's been on TNA. So that's, to me, that's an honour to have that he's agreed to do this and let us build this around their name, along with British talent like Sullivan King, Richie, RJ Singh, Sunset Skip. 4 very big time players on the British scene. I've known 2 of them for 22 years and seen them be a massive part of the British resurgence. We've got a female match, which, that match hasn't officially been announced, but we've got 2 females on the show. It's obvious they're going to be facing each other. Dominita versus Mia Cortez. We've got other wrestlers, I should probably know, Mr. Dexter, David Blackadder. We've got Jimmy V, Preston Sage, Johnny Royal, all fresh, young, hungry talent that will put on a good show. And I feel like there's going to be some magic, boys. How are you, like, from the response you're getting from the people that have bought tickets, how are you guys finding, like, the build up from your side?
Oh, they're loving it. They're eating it up. People from me that have bought tickets, or because, so the best way to describe it, mine and Stalley's Discords and followers and stuff are very incestuous. They go hand in hand. A lot
interesting word to use.
Yeah, but it's true though.
It is very true.
Yeah,
it is very true.
So if they're in one, they're probably in the other, which helps with our events. But from the people that I've seen, they're loving it. They absolutely love it, and they can't wait for it. And yeah, like you say, AJ, they're there for, a lot of people are there to see AJ. They follow him, want to see what he's going to do. Goonie Dad as well. They know there's a wealth of UK indie talent coming through, so they know it's going to be a good show.
And that's, the pressure is on for all of us, the management team, GMs upwards. There is a lot of pressure, but I just, that you've got this gut feeling that at the end of the day, we're all going to have a big smile on our face and just know. I'm hoping, again, touch wood, on that night, I will be announcing show 2. And I feel we will know by that point that will definitely be happening. So hopefully by then I'll have told you a date to book out in your diaries. And I'm not spoiling too much, but if it's going to continue with 40th anniversary movies, there's a film about a car that you shouldn't drive faster than 88 miles an hour that's turning 40 also this year. Some people might have seen it. That's the wrestling show side of it. Go on. Stalley, was you going to say something, or did you have a...
I mean, just to, I guess, cover from my side that question you just asked as well.
yeah, good
I think
point. Sorry.
Before we even actually gave the announcement, obviously there was just a date lingering. All people knew was May 31st. There's already a lot of talk of it. You were obviously in and out of my lives from time to time. Dropping that date is very ominous. It didn't mean anything, but people knew something was happening. So that created that buzz. So as soon as we sort of gave them more details, we told them, right, there's going to be a wrestling event. It's going to be near some of you even. This is the date for it. This is where it's going to be. Come get involved. I feel like the response was, pretty phenomenal, to be fair. I'd say a lot of people that have bought tickets to it already have obviously been to previous events that myself and Jay have done. So they were more than willing just to come along for the ride at that point. There's a big community feel here, and I feel like there's still a lot of people that perhaps have heard about it but just haven't bought a ticket yet. So there's going to be a big demand for this within our communities, let alone the rest of the wrestling world on social media and beyond. So it's exciting, very exciting.
Like I say, it's got that, like you said, community feel, because you said you've got this following of people that love what you do and know that if you've agreed to do something, hopefully, it's going to be successful because I've seen your events. I wish I didn't have a job that I have of DJing and could come along to some of them myself. But like I say, it's just got that people that know that, right, if they're going to do this, they're not going to let it not be good. I hope that people are thinking that. And I generally believe we've got the right team. It's been selected quite well.
They trust us. They trust that we're not going to put our name to something that's bad. But just to reiterate what Stalley was saying, when you were coming in our lives and you were just the date was just lingering there. It was funny, the things still coming through. They were like, May 31st, Jay's putting Stalley through a table. Stalley's putting Jay.
I've seen that one a lot.
And Stalley through a table. Jay and Stalley are getting married on May 30th. Like it was crazy. Like what the options for what was going to happen on May 31st were.
I like it because, without realising, I didn't intend it to be, but it kind of became like a break the code kind of thing, didn't it? Like that kind of sell. It was like, so, and it made sense without even thinking this is why I'm doing it. It was me just trying to remind you guys about it, but that's just me. Like I say, I'll go talk about that thing and see what people talk about it. And like I said to you before, sometimes I think they're probably getting like, oh, here he is. They see my name pop up and go, for God's sake, he's going to start. Here we go. We're going to start selling this thing again. But there's that look of like people trying to figure it out, trying to work it out. It's what we're trying to do is we're selling this as a social media event, and we're building it. We're building just that anticipation of what is May the 31st on your lives. Like obviously, I was desperate to I knew that we decided you guys were going to be GMs, and it was trying to figure out a time when I could tell you. And it got to a point where I was up one night and watching Parky on a live, and I just went, I've just made his poster with him with his job role. I'm going to go send it to him while he's live and see if I can get a reaction out of him and screen record it. And it worked. And I said to him, don't give it away, but just I want to know what your thoughts are by your face. And it worked. And then I was like, I wonder if that worked with J.E. and Stalley. And it did. People were like, what? They didn't know what was coming to your inbox, but they knew I was sending you what was going to happen. And then when we said to you, tell people, let's go for it, people were buzzing for you. I think it was sold very well. Very, very well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I liked the fact as well, and that's not kayfabe either. Like, when we found out, we were genuinely finding out.
Oh, that was, a wholesome reaction. We had no idea.
And then told to react. That was genuinely us finding out.
Yep.
I love this industry, because the terms, like back when I first started actually wrestling, the terms of kayfabe, heel, face, you only knew that because you were in the business, really. But it's so common knowledge, and that's what I'm saying. Like, the industry's changed so much. I think there's a market for what we're doing, but stepping away from the actual show itself, obviously, some of our listeners may not be massive wrestling fans because we cover a lot of stuff games, movies, and TVs. So let's find out, from each of you, where did this start? Like this journey, how long ago? What made you go, I could probably be quite entertaining online. People might like what I do. Was there a video that went viral? Or...
So for me, I started this about January last year. It was sort of just before the Rumble. I'd always been against TikTok. Absolutely hated it. Never used it as a user. I thought, yeah. Or I mean, every time I'd sit on the sofa in the evening, I'd finish work, I'd sit on the sofa. All I'd hear is sounds coming from my partner's phone. Right? It'd be all the meme songs. It would want to be the memes. It'd be the popular songs over and over and over again. And I thought, this is brain rot. I'm not going to get involved in this app. And then fast forward, like I said, to January. That was happening for years. And obviously TikTok's been a thing for a long time. I think it really sort of took off during COVID, didn't it? COVID was the prime time for TikTok, if you will, because no one had anything better to do. It was you're sat at home. A lot of people were furloughed. What else are you going to do other than scroll TikTok? I think because I wasn't furloughed, that's why I didn't get it, perhaps. Anyway, so I've always been passionate about wrestling. I stopped watching wrestling when I sort of was going through my teenage years, but I watched it as a kid. But I think at the time when I decided to sort of start making content on wrestling, I was having a conversation with my partner. I'd previously tried other platforms like YouTube and stuff, doing like videos on 2K. Thing is with me, I start things and I stop them. I start, stop. I never see something through to the end. But with this, I had this idea. My partner Vic, she said, why don't you just try TikTok? I know you've always been against it, but why don't you just try it? I feel like the sort of content you're looking to create, the sort of short videos talking about wrestling, you'd be perfect at it. Just give it a go. So I thought, you know what have I got to lose? Started TikTok. Didn't even put my face to it to start with, even though with everything I've done previously, I always put my face on it. But this time around, I tried a different approach. Then I thought, maybe I should put my face to it. Start to make it more of a brand, make it feel more personable. And that's exactly what I did. Continued with the videos, stayed consistent with it, enjoyed it most importantly. And almost a year on, we are 19,000 followers deep. So it's
Nice.
It's really took off, and there's an amazing community behind it as well. So it's really good. That's my story anyway.
Okay. Jay?
So mine started Clash 2022, was it? Was it Clash at the Castle 2022? Was that the one in Wales, Cardiff?
Wales. Yeah, it was.
I couldn't work out if it was 22 or 23, but it was 22, wasn't it? Yeah, it was.
I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, I'm trying to think of it.
I was there, and I think it was 22 from memory.
It was. Yeah, I just looked at the ticket.
I love that.
So I recorded a load of stuff when I was there. I hadn't really thought about going on TikTok either, and I had these videos on my phone, and they were just sitting there and not really doing anything with them. And I had TikTok at the time. I was the one sitting on the sofa watching the all the sound. I was that person sitting there with the brain rot, as you rightly say. And I saw like a couple of like WrestleTokers, mainly in America, a couple in the UK, but not many. I now think there are a lot more than there ever has been, which is a great thing because it means the UK wrestling scene is massive, and that's what we want it to be. We want the PLEs over here. So I posted, I created like my account where I posted Edge's entrance at Clash at the Castle, and I think it got like 750 views or something like that, and I was like, this is amazing. Like 750 people have wanted to watch this, and I left it there. And then I was asking questions in WrestleToker's comment sections, and no one was really answering. And I was like, well, if I want to know this, maybe some other people do as well. So I got in front of the camera and I started talking, and then I made note, and people were commenting and liking, and I made another video and I started talking, and then 2 I think, yeah, so October 2022 was when I started, so 2 and a bit years later. Almost 18,000 followers, a great community behind me as well. Like incredibly proud of what I've managed to do and achieve, because again, I don't stick at anything. And Chloe has always said, like, it's really nice and refreshing to like see you like properly stick at something and go full speed at it. And I think I'm pretty good at it. So yeah, that is my story of how I got into it.
It reminded me. I'm trying to think back to, obviously I found you, Jay, through your WrestleMania journey last year. That's when I first came across you. Stalley, you were like later on last year when the podcast was running, and I started seeing a lot more UK content creators, because my feed was, the Santi Zaps, the Alan Ohms, the Conmans. It was that, and so I didn't see much of a British market until, I'd seen J.E. Then Scott obviously was starting to do his thing, and then it might have been a video you guys done together or something, and I was like, oh, who's that? And I was like, oh, okay, these guys are friends, and then started going down your stuff. Obviously J.E. Go on.
I was just going to say, when you saw the WrestleMania video, was that before or after you were stalking me in the
right? Okay, listen, this is Stalley. You might have to hold back on a sec. This needs to be. I've been thinking about this whole time we've been on this call. All right.
I bet you have.
The WrestleMania, right? Okay. Yeah. Right. Listen. Right. Okay.
I'm gonna buckle up. All right. You tell the story. You tell the story.
So, I found J.E. WrestleMania videos. I was commenting. I think it might have been from the podcast thing, and I was saying to you, I'd love to have you come over on the podcast when you're back, etc., like that. Didn't ever get back to me about it. So then I thought, I did swear. Right, I've let one out. Sorry, kids, anyone that's listening. But I thought, I'm going to stalk him. No. So yeah, obviously.
Workplace.
Yeah, literally. How funny is that? The workplace that is 15 seconds walk from where I am sat right now. I'd seen your content, and then yes, I popped into the range round the corner, and this is my side of it, because what happened was when I ran into J.E. at this place, I then went on his live, like, oh, that was me you see today, and he told this story, and it was basically like I'd stalked him, and he's now done it twice on his live, and I've not had my chance to defend myself on this, right? So from my side of it, J.E., I'd gone into the range, and I was at the counter as you walk in, like, like the customer service counter, and I'd see you walk past, and my first thought was, I know that guy, like, as if like I knew you from like, just a night, from somewhere DJing, but my head was like, well, round here, I'm not from here, I'm from Essex originally. I was like, I know him, but I was like, I didn't want to come over just in case you weren't the person I thought I knew, because this happens often. So I went upstairs, and when I went upstairs, go to find the stuff, as I walked back round, by the way, when I saw you outside, I don't know if you were smoking or someone was smoking you were working with and you were out the front. That's when I first see you, and I thought, I know you from somewhere. You looked at me as well, all right? Like, you looked at me and probably thinking, who is this guy looking at me? So I went upstairs, walked around.
That was exactly it.
And as I was walking around, like, where you can look down to the elevator, you looked up at me and I looked at you, and I was like, we must know each other.
Love at first sight.
Literally, it was.
It wasn't that. I was like, why is this guy staring at me?
Yeah, that's what he was thinking, obviously, to me, because he's looked at me at the same time. Like, I'm thinking, he must recognise me. Like, where do we know each other? And then as I carried on walking around the corner, it hit me. It was to do with wrestling. And then it hit me. I was like, he's J.E. from TikTok. I was like, that's who he is. Of course, like, because I've seen so many of the guys' videos by this point, you kind of feel like you know someone.
Yeah.
But also, obviously, I'm doing content as well. No, at the time, like, didn't have nearly as many followers as you, but you could have seen me as well for stuff, for certain things.
Of course, yeah.
I'd had a couple of videos go. Obviously, as far as I'm aware, you hadn't ever seen anything of mine, but we'd locked eyes, we'd fallen in love. So I was like, right, I'm going to go over and just say, like, hello, and just say, you are the guy I think you are, innit? And I was like, I know you, don't I? And he was like, yeah. I was like, wrestling. If I said wrestling, just want to double check this. He was like, yeah, that's me. Sort of thing. I was like, oh, cool, whatever, nice to meet you. And that's when I go on his live later on, and he's accusing me of stalking him.
Well, so let me get this straight then. So despite J.E. basically summarising you as some sort of deranged stalker, we've still managed to sell tickets within our community, Jay.
Yeah, pretty much.
So the Stalker guys created a wrestling show. We are now the general managers of that wrestling show.
It gets
And people are going
because-
to come along to it.
Because so far that's the only time he's actually caught me following him. So he
Yeah.
doesn't. He's not weirded out just yet. That was only once, but he hasn't seen me all the rest of the times.
You're going to just show
It's
me
fine.
like 17 pictures of me doing stuff like in random places. But no, for me, what it was is because I locked eyes with you and I thought, oh, because I fix escalators as my other job, the one that doesn't pay the bills, in case people weren't aware, the one that pays the bills, sorry. And I thought, oh, here's going to be another member of the public that's going to be like, oh, I bet that job's got its ups and downs or something like that. And then when you were like, I think what you actually said, I think you were like, are you that? Do you talk about wrestling online? And I was like, yeah, I do. And then that's when I clicked that that's obviously where you knew me from. And at that point, I was like, oh, maybe he's not a stalker and he's not just following me around, but I'm still going to sell it as such.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah,
I had
cheers.
no way.
Good luck.
Like I've gone in these live. It's like no way of defending myself. I'm like brilliant. And then when it comes to the point, I'm like I might have to come up with these ideas working this guy. He's like he's not going to say yes. He's literally telling people I'm a stalker. Like I feel like I need to readjust this. So
Maybe
now I've got your
as general
mobile number.
managers, one day we can get you involved in a show as some sort of stalker, like a weird stalker angle. That'd be pretty cool.
DDP, DDP, like just pre-warn Chloe. Right? You know what happened with it? Like pre-warn Chloe. It's all for the gimmick.
I'm sure if the shows go on long enough, then there's got to be a time where Basic Instinct has a 40th anniversary. So
Who's doing the scene?
not
the cross legs.
not guilty.
I don't know, Stalley. Have you got quite sexy legs? Do you reckon you could pull off the cross leg scene?
Do I need to whack them out now? I've not shaved in a while.
Listen, I'm still upset that you neither of you have actually worn a thong. We made promises, we made comments.
I never said I was going to. That was all Stalley.
I never saw the text, okay? I don't
Yeah,
receive it.
who am I going to believe here? Who am I going to believe here about the thong and who's not seen the messages?
Well,
Mr. Unapproachable.
this is true.
I've chose this guy as a GM and I can't even get in touch with him. Like, what? So
I'll make sure he gets there on time on the day. Don't worry.
one of your job roles, J.E., is to badger him to speak to us.
I can do that.
Just stalk me, Jay, all right? Just stalk me.
I'll tell Ryan. He already knows how to do that.
I think J.E. just wanted to sell it. Yeah, J.E. just wanted to sell it that he's got his first stalker, his first online stalker. I was like, thanks, and I'm the guy. Thank you.
Guys, I've taken out a restraining order. Let's talk about it.
I like it.
Yeah. Oh, that's swear if that becomes a. I mean, I've already got the hashtag Ryan's bald spot. I could kill Laferde for that. This hashtag Ryan's bald spot. Stalley, have you seen this in the group?
I've
Of
not
course
seen
he
it.
hasn't. Of course he
Explain.
hasn't seen it.
What?
So one of the podcast team, Laferde, he's one of the most driest sense. He's hilarious. He's not a content creator in any sense. He comes on the pod. He loves to talk. He's a massive nerd. He's trying to learn to do more. He's getting involved more. And he's got one of the driest sense of humours. He's so like straight funny. And he knows that Jacob turned heel on me on live the other week and whacked my hat off in front of not only just people that follow me on TikTok, but including one of the area managers I work for Pop Worlds. Whipped my hat off. I've dived under the table because I'm ashamed of me losing my hair. And I've had to like look at Jacob and go, don't do that again. Then Jacob's online going, let's start a hashtag Ryan's bald spot. I'm like, oh. So Laferde has gone on after I've given him access to the Facebook and Instagram for the podcast, like get involved, do more. He's gone on the Talks with Dorks event page for Never Say Die and said the first official chant for Talks with Dorks is hashtag Ryan's bald spot.
Oh. Wow. Well, yep, okay.
And like he
I
knows
think-
how
I think,
insecure I am.
We can get that going, can't we, Jay?
No.
we can do that.
You need to
we
go.
can
And
certainly do
listen,
it.
you need to go and listen to the voice notes because me and Parky have already started the chants in that group chat.
So we just need to carry it on, is what you're saying. It's
I'm
already
trying,
started.
I'm trying to think of a chant where I can put it in that Ryan's bald spot's got hoes in different area codes because but I don't know. I don't know how we're going to quite work that one out.
The thing is, this is going to be something on the show where I'm going to have to like shave my head. and embrace it. But I am not at that stage. I'm so insecure about it. If I haven't got the stuff that makes my hair look like it's got some, like the sprays and stuff, I've got a hat on, right?
I've seen it. It's not even that bad.
No, you've seen the gimmick hair. You've seen. I have products that make it look better than it is, but I don't have that in, you can genuinely see my arse cheeks through my hairline. And like, do you know, I know that I'm recording a podcast and telling this honestly. Like, this is actually like therapy for me because I'm so insecure about it. The hairline's a gimmick, so I may have to shave my head, and that's the bit I don't want, because even though I was technically a professional wrestler, I've never been big built. When I shave my head, I'm not going to look like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm going to look like someone people are going to go, are you? No, I'm going to look like someone's going to go, are you all right? How long have you got left? That's all it sounds. That's all it sounds. I've got a very slim frame and I'm very pale. I'm going to look like I'm not okay.
You are seeing Cena though, so you could do like a Make-A-Wish.
No, he's not doing any more Make-A-Wishes, okay? That's done now.
Do you think that's... but then, this is why it kind of works with Cena and Rock being heel, because they have their outside of wrestling personalities that people still will, like, are so good at what they do in the public eye that when they come back to wrestling, people forget that and believe that story, don't they? They believe what they're seeing on the screen, and that's why it could only be them two.
Yeah.
Like, I really did not see Cena. I thought Punk was going to sell his soul, if I'm honest. He was going to either win and sell his soul, and that was how it was going to go, or he was going to lose, and he'd be the one that comes back out after passing out and selling his soul. But the fact it was Cena and the way it was done...
See, I thought it was going to be Cody or Cena, but I thought it was going to happen at WrestleMania. I didn't think it was happening at Chamber.
But exactly.
Who did you have Cena going up against at WrestleMania then?
Well, Cody.
Fantasy wise.
Well,
before Elimination Chamber happened, obviously I'll just...
if I could have booked it, I would have had Cena versus Orton for the title. That's what I would have had.
But how would we have got there? That's the thing with Cody. Like before Chamber, this is what I was thinking, was because, like, you know, in my head was like, I'm sure it's going to be, it's either going to be Cena, but then is that too obvious? It's going to be Cena. That's what made it so good as well. At least 3 of them in that match you believed. Even Logan Paul, you were like, this could be a thing. This could be a thing here, like, because it's different. So they believed it when it was like Cena, but how are they going to sell this? Cena's the face. Cena's the good guy. Like, okay, it's good, and and the way he was selling it before he turned, getting so excited, jumping around, you were like, okay, this is how it's going to go. Someone else is going to get involved to be the bad guy in this situation. Snapped, and he was perfect. So I don't know who I would have seen actually going with Cody. I don't know. I had so many different options, and that's what I liked. It wasn't as obvious as people thought it was going to be.
And this is the thing, and people do keep saying, they're like, oh yeah, but it's so like elusive what Triple H is doing, and we don't know, and like, what's wrong? Like, we're back in a time where like dirt sheets might as well not exist, because it's a time before the internet where you have to tune in every week to find out what's going to happen. You can't predict it, and they're like, oh yeah, that's too predictable, that's not predictable enough. Like, this is the happy medium. We don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, I had a problem with Jey Uso being the winner of the Rumble, but in hindsight, actually now it's not a bad thing, and he did deserve it. But there were 5 or 6 people that could have won that, and I would have been okay with as well. And like you say, the Chamber, there were definitely 4 people in there that I thought 4 of these guys could win this.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's been very up in the air, hasn't it? For this, mate, like, you know, when you think about the Mania build-up last year, I feel like a lot of it was it was clear what was going on. It was already set in stone before the matches were even announced, you know what I mean? In my mind, anyway, and other wrestling fans. You know, as a community, we built that card last year pretty easily. But this year, it seems like it's a bit of it's a mixed bag. You just don't know what's going to happen.
That's what the build-up's been fantastic, because, like you say, last year there was the one swerve, the obvious one, the Cody, like the Rock and Roman, which was so good. Like, people just, they listened. and they went right with it, and they surprised us. This year, it weren't even that long ago. We kind of all thought we knew what WrestleMania was going to be. It's all right. There's not a build up for it, but all of a sudden, yeah, like you say, Jey Uso, shouldn't have won it, I suppose, in because some of us, because we weren't putting him in that picture. We had our idea that it was gonna be CM Punk, it was gonna be John Cena, but they shocked us in that. Yeah, I get it. I was like, really? Oh man, like, but now it's like, no, because it's so good that we didn't expect it to beat him. It's great because, like, okay, Jay's getting his push. He was obviously on his way to get it, but they've just set it in stone for us, and we wasn't expecting it to be there and then. I mean,
I do think though, if he does win at Mania, then Gunther's reign has been a bit mid. Personally,
I'm with you on that. 100%.
I like Gunther, and I see like his ability is phenomenal.
Oh, absolutely.
It's the character to me is a bit stale. I like a bit more entertainment value on that side of things, like the push. Like he's quite a bland character, like one level kind of, which is good. That's his thing. But I mean, come on, we all know my guy's The Rock. Like I went into this falling in love with it for the most entertaining part of it. That's what I love. I love it, everything he does, not just the in-ring stuff. But they've built it. The match going into it, you kind of, I think they might swerve us, but I think we know who's winning, and that's great. I'd like to think we're going to see Jay win. That's the obvious win, but it's going to be big because it is his first win. But then that takes you to the Cena Cody match. Who's winning that?
Exactly.
I could argue both sides, and that's what makes it so good. It's not obvious. Even last year, we kind of knew Cody was going to win. It was just they were making you false hope on that night. They were trying to make everything look like it wasn't. We knew I think we all kind of knew he was going to win the second time. But this year is like Cena wants that 17th. Cody needs to kind of solidify his WrestleMania legacy by going over a year.
Yeah, the trouble is with that is that with Cody, his title reign has been stale. We talk about stale. I feel like Cody's run has been stale. It's not to any fault of his own. I feel like it's more the booking choice itself. The matches that he has had have been exciting, but lack of story behind them. So I feel like the fact that he wasn't the one to sell his soul and John Cena was, that on that basis, the only thing that he can do to not be stale anymore is to drop the title to Cena, because if he was to win at WrestleMania, yes, Cena will eventually go on to get it at some point, and they could build on that. However, Cena needs to get the most out of this year being a farewell tour. They can't have him being heel the whole run. They can't.
Where do you think that's going to go? Oh, sorry, Jay, before we ask that, J.E., what's your thoughts on that? The Cody.
So I genuinely don't know who's going to win it at Mania. Like Stalley, Cena does get 17, but I don't know if it comes at Mania. But I would be more. So I would have almost been more happy with Cody actually selling his soul and becoming heel and keeping the title. I would have been much more interested in. Well, no, actually that's a lie. Not much more interested, because I'm really interested in seeing John Cena as a heel for the first time. He's got the heel music. If not, come out in the live shows with the Doctor of Thugonomics. I'm down for that. But a full Cody heel turn, maybe like, I need to keep this belt at all costs. I'm the first Rhodes to win this title. I've got to keep this in my family, for my family. I've spoken to Mama Rhodes. She said, do what you've got to do. Do what you keep this title with our family. If that means selling your soul to The Rock, your dad would be proud that you did it, because you've kept the title with us, and that's all that matters. And then we had seen a heel Cody, and then Super Cena comes in and saves the day somewhere around SummerSlam. Survive. He doesn't need to have it for long, does he? SummerSlam.
No, it's just to put that number to it.
SummerSlam, Survivor Series time, and then Cody sees the error of his ways maybe, and then wins it back again towards the end of the year and goes into Mania 42 with it. Would have been a way of doing it, but how they have done it, I've got genuinely no idea who wins this match right now.
Yeah, So, do you think? I mean, I believe the Cena heel turn will sweep around, and it will. He's potentially his final match will be him and Rock. I thought it was going to be Randy, but now with this storyline, I think, is this leading to Rock Cena 3?
I guess it makes sense, doesn't it? Really, they've planted the seed with that one.
Like,
And I guess also you've got where they left off with CM Punk.
yeah,
Because the thing is with Punk, obviously, what happened at the Elimination Chamber, we've got this whole favour thing that's floating around as well. Don't know what the favour is yet, no idea. But where does he slot into the mix? I know there were some talks online, with wrestling fans, stating that maybe Punk is the one that sort of saved Cena from his heel self now. I don't know, but yeah. I think Cena, maybe Punk gets him to realise the error of his ways, and then he turns on Rock, as you said.
Don't forget as well, though, we're about to see, well, I think anyway, Randy Orton start Punk kicking every man and his dog left, right, and centre. So there's probably one in there for Cena as well at some point.
This is what I'm saying.
Punk
Like,
kicking back into reality.
If he gets that title, like, if he gets it, that's why I'm like, I believe Cena might get it. Is that he's got Randy as a face, so he's going to face Randy. He's got CM Punk because they had such a massive rivalry, and he's got The Rock. So, like, if he does win it, him as champion, who he's going against, are three of the biggest names in the industry. But then you go, okay, you've got that thing like, Cody could win it because he's the good guy, and it continues, like, he's solidifying his story because he's won again at WrestleMania. It just wasn't just as a fluke because everyone else got involved. He's done it again. But now I'm starting to think that I've just said that Randy, Rock, CM Punk. I really hope they go that way with him with the belt, because that would be phenomenal. A year of feeling like it's 2011 again.
Obviously, Ryan, you're pretty big on your music. You're a DJ.
Sometimes.
What do you feel like they're gonna do? One, with John Cena's theme, because they need to change it on the basis he is now a heel. He cannot use the same theme going into this heel run. He can't.
As long as it isn't some Deaf Rebel going, no. Is now.
We're not doing that. Yeah, no, we can't do that. And also, I guess, second part of that question is, what do you think of Travis Scott's involvement?
That's the easiest part to answer. No. I think because one, he's injured Cody, and I didn't see it until I saw a close-up video. The way he slapped him, mate, if someone would have done that to me in a wrestling match, they would have got every receipt I have in my wallet for petrol. Every receipt would have been coming their way. But to be honest, it was him again when it came out with Jay before, right? Smoking weed.
Yep.
As much as like it's cool, like there's no boundaries kind of thing. Don't know. Probably like not for me. It's not a good look. It's like 1 minute he's smoking weed walking down to the ring, which was funny, like it's okay. Oh, wow, they've never done that before. But the next thing he's injuring the wrestler. And just what was his point of him being there?
What's even crazier is I saw that today he just released on his own website. This wasn't through the WWE shop, but it did eventually end up in the WWE shop, mind you. But he did release it as part of his own sort of clothing line, a T-shirt which had the old sort of WWE scratch logo on it, and it said "Wrestling is real." So it's like he's almost condoning what he did to Cody. He's like, yeah, this is real.
And then isn't it the picture of him, Cena, and The Rock in black
on
and
the
white?
back? Absolutely, yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So
that was interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm not a Travis Scott music fan, but like to me, I didn't see any point of him, like other than that he was there waving that thing around. That I'm not gonna lie, I thought he was just showing off that he's got a joint again, but someone said it was like incense or whatever. Why are you doing that in a wrestling ring?
Wasn't he getting himself with like all the bad juju around him?
This is what I was gonna say. I think that's what it was.
It didn't work because John Cena of all people turned heel.
It didn't work. Clearly, it didn't work.
Yeah. He had the wrong stuff.
Just on the music, obviously I'm not as music as you guys, but what did you guys think of the "If You Smell What the Rock Is Cooking" into theme back into? It was perfect. It was perfect, wasn't it? It was so good.
Loved it. Now,
not a fan.
I guess with the whole Travis Scott appearance, this is Triple H trying to obviously appeal to the younger audience. And it's working. It's working wonders. Travis Scott is, in the music world, if you will, over with all of the kids. It's the cool thing to do. So having someone like Travis on board is only going to help conversations in the playground, in the schools. Everyone's saying, "Oh my God, Travis Scott's on like wrestling. Do you see that? Oh, I don't watch wrestling." Next thing you know, we've just spawned a whole new generation of wrestling fans. So I think it works. It does work wonders in terms of selling the product to people perhaps outside of the wrestling world. But it did feel a bit random. The only, I guess, tie to it was the fact he did enter with Jey Uso. Maybe they explore that later on down the line, involve him in part of that story. I don't know.
See, the music to me, and it's my ADHD brain. I don't like change. I like when they adapt the Rock's music. There's been like the odd version. It started with "Do You Smell?" Then it went then it had the "If You Smell," what the Rock version. Then there was the Hollywood version. They were okay, but having just a random song appear out in that music that they've adapted for a heel, I was like, no, I'm not a fan of that. That's not my Rock entrance that I want. I want the Rock to have his entrance, him to be the final boss, not trying to sell someone's CD. In my eyes, that's the old man in me. That's the old man.
I've got a fair point on that though. Not gonna lie.
What was the point of a 30-second clip of another song? Go back to the original. That to me is like if I was doing that DJ and people were going, "What are you doing? Why have you gone out of one song, gone into another?" With Cena's music, I like this question because this might be an unpopular opinion. I don't want the Doctor of Thugonomics.
Okay.
I want because we all know that he was a heel, but he was loved. If he's going heel and he's doing this straight face, I want a new heel Cena that we've never seen before, because this guy's now a great actor. I love him as Peacemaker. He's a great actor. I want a new version. I don't want, as much as it might be fun to see it before the end of the year, see Dr. Thugonomics once more. And two, to be honest, I wasn't there for that. I left at the end of the Attitude Era, was off actually doing some wrestling, came back when Rock came back in 2011. So that whole bit, I missed. I crept in. I knew what was going on, but I wasn't following. So for me, I would like a new theme, and there is this one that supposedly he made back in 2012 when they were talking about him going heel before. I like that idea. Like, what if we finally get that and find out what that is? Then there's people saying he's going to use his Bad Man track from his album that he released.
Yes, I see a lot of talk about that.
So I don't know, to me that's gimmicky. Again, like, that's gimmicky for what he's doing. If we're going with a new John Cena as a heel, it all needs to be different.
So you're very much in a mindset, been there, done that.
Yeah, move forward. Like The Rock's evolved his character. Like The Rock has always adapted his character for what the fans want from him. Like, he went heel back in 2003 because they were bored of seeing him come back and forth. He started doing it and they fell in love with it, so he went face again. And now they love him as the final boss. As much as they hate him as the final boss, they love him. Cena has the ability to do that. Is make them believe something new that they've never seen, and that could be a fun. As much as I'd like to see some nostalgia Cena, I want to see some new stuff as well. I want to see the actor side of him being shown.
I'm down for that, like a proper Hollywood takeover.
Yeah, like, this is they're the new mega powers. The Rock and John Cena are officially a team, and we don't know at this moment in time why he sold his soul. Do you believe it's because I've got no other way? In the last few years, I've lost every match. I need that 17th title, so there was only one way to do it: sell my soul and do the unthinkable. Is that why he's done it, or is there another reason? Are they going to be some overpowering tag team authority force?
Well, that's the thing, because he obviously he clearly sold his soul before winning the Chamber. He'd obviously had that conversation with The Rock, but then he won the Chamber anyway. So he's not in no better position selling his soul. Like, he's still got the match at WrestleMania. Like, that match is still happening just by him winning the Chamber. He's not actually found himself in any better position aligning with The Rock.
But like,
other than
at this moment in time.
I guess that therefore, what does selling his soul mean? As you said, Ryan, like, does it therefore mean that, let's say Cody gets the pin count, he wins at Mania, out comes The Rock, he's calling the shots, he goes, "You go again." And next thing you know,
you go until
gets
Cena
the
wins.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't know.
It-
That's
yeah.
the unpredictability of it. Is like why has he sold it? What like is the Rock promised him you're going to win this title? That's the whole storyline that we're going to find out and it's going to unfold. And that's why it makes it so exciting. It's fun like to be talking wrestling. Like I don't know if any of you've seen it. Jay, I think you might have seen it when I've live. At the end of my sets, generally I'll drop Cody's theme or CM Punk, or I'll drop. Last night was one of the best reactions. I always get a little group of people that will sing along to Cody. It's generally Cody or Punk I use, but last night at the end I weren't even DJing the last, it was the other DJ. I went, I'm still doing my wrestling themes, so I went over and I put it lined up Cena's music and I went, this might be an unpopular opinion, bang, and the most people I'd seen get excited about a wrestling theme went off for it and started singing along. And then I dropped the music down, I went, and you could play his WrestleMania opponent's music, and to give one of his most recent quotes, "Hey Rock, go fuck yourself," and then drop Cody's music and these group of lads, and I've got a dirty look from the doorman, like, it's over, turn the music off. There's too many people enjoying this. I was like, done it. Cheap pop. I love a cheap pop.
Bravo. Do you know what though? It's interesting, isn't it? Because obviously these are songs that have spawned from wrestling, so they're not licensed music outside of wrestling world. However, having said that, you've got people like Luke Littler using Cody's theme. It's becoming more and more known now outside of the wrestling world again. You know, we come back to that point where it's just wrestling's way more accessible now than it ever has been before. That's obviously because of the Netflix move, but it's just being talked about. It's being spoken about by so many more people. It's so good to see.
You're seeing things. I spoke about it on one of our recent episodes. Woody, one of our guys, he done a live stream for Elimination Chamber, and he said, right, he goes, it was so good. I had 100 people watching us, but one of the funniest things was this guy came in to troll, and he went, wrestling's this, wrestling's fake, da 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 da. And then people started going at him, like biting at him and like giving him grief for it. And then he was sort of stuck around a bit, and then he come back and went, where can I watch this thing you're watching? And there was like, yeah, and then he come back half hour later going, this is epic, this is so good, I haven't seen wrestling since I was a kid. And he was like, I watched this guy go from a troll to a wrestling fan in a space of about an hour. He's like, this is what's happening. And that again, I love DJ because I am a nerd. I love if I see someone in a wrestling t-shirt, I might have done like dropped a little DX, are you ready, just give him a little wink and stuff like that. But it's only recently. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, get stalking them.
What are you doing first? Do you want to buy a ticket?
Yeah. Oh, mate, my visuals for DJing, I've got videos I show. My visuals on, like, when I do my karaoke nights and that, they have the poster with you guys on the screens around my work.
You have to send me a video of that. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I'll send you
me a little clip.
But while we've still got your attention, but when we finish recording, I'll send it to you then so you can see it, so we know you've watched it.
Please. It needs to be on the spot, now or never.
Yeah. But I can't remember what I was saying, but yeah, so like it's that thing I've noticed. I know I can drop wrestling music, and I guarantee, even if I'm looking out and you see like a group of emos, a group of like chavvy guys, or like rude boy guys, or people that you look at and go, they're probably not wrestling fans. You're gonna get them. You'll find more than ever. You'll find people that will pop more than ever, but no matter what background they come from, there's a lot more people that react. So it's cool to do that, and it's like.
Right, yeah.
They all look at I get the fist bumps, I live for the face in me is always waiting for the fist bumps. Like, dude, that was so cool that you did that. Yeah, I love that. And like when I wear my CM Punk t-shirt at work, I love that someone will come past. I'll just be walking like to the toilet or whatever, and someone will go, dude, yeah, the little wink. But back to Talks with Dorks, because I have kept you guys a lot longer than I promised I would. And Stalley, I know you said you're normally in bed by now. Talks with Dorks presents Never Say Die, May 31st, Basildon. There'll be links all over our social medias. There'll be links in this video. Make sure you get your tickets. They are going well. They will sell out. And I think hopefully just from this, we have sold people on the fact that we know we've got magic coming.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yep. Proof's in the pudding, right?
Yes, like absolutely. Like we now I'm glad that I've got you guys actually down finally to do this. I've been able to kick back and not just like coming on your lives and doing it. Feel that you are excited for it. So it makes me feel good that everyone's passionate and good for this. Really good. And I know the team will be buzzing when they see this.
I'm excited. I'm proper excited, and I can't wait. It's going to be a great day.
Absolutely. Echo that.
Boys, I will let you. I mean, there'll be people watching this who know who you are. There'll be people that may not have seen you before, but they'll want to know where to find you. So please give out your socials so people can find you.
Stalley, do you want to go first?
Yeah, absolutely. Stone Cold Stalley on TikTok. Probably my only platform as it stands, to be fair. But you can find me on there, stonecoldstalley.com as well, for all my sort of other social links, Discord community and whatnot. So that is me. Come find me.
Yeah, I'm same. I'm only going to use TikTok as well. I do have other socials, Instagram and YouTube, but not doing what I'm doing on TikTok. So you can find me on TikTok at j.e.wrestletok for all your daily wrestling content. Twice daily.
You can find twice daily, every day without fail. You can find me at the DJ Ryan S on everything, and the podcast, as you should know, is at Talk Dork Podcast. If you are just discovering this because you've come over a bit from the guys, or you're just discovering this because you've heard about the wrestling show, make sure you're following, because we've got so much stuff to come and content to do with this wrestling show, among other things. Hopefully you'll enjoy. My name's Ryan. That's Stone Cold Stalley. That's j.e.wrestletok, who I am not stalking, no matter what he says.
Nice.
Boys, thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
See you later.
Thank you for having us on. Appreciate it.